Good morning, fellow garden adventurers. I'm Kelly, aka K2, and this is K2 Garden Adventure, my channel dedicated to me building my dream farm and botanical gardens here on the beautiful coast of Central California, Zone 9B. So it's been a while since I've made a video, and not even sure when you'll be seeing this because I've got other videos that are a bit in a backlog to get edited and put out. But I've been super busy working full time and haven't had nearly as much time as I hoped out in the garden. Well, actually, I've been working quite a bit in the garden, but I've just been trying to get it done fast, in the hour or so in the evening. So I haven't necessarily been making videos. But what I want to do right now is take you through all of the stuff that I have got done recently and show you a project that I'm going to try to get knocked out this morning because it's Sunday, which is it's the season opener of football, and I've got a bunch of people coming over at noon to watch the games and enjoy some barbecue and good food. So anyways, let me flip this around and show you what I've been up to and what I want to get done. All right, so this is essentially going to be a front garden tour. Still early in the morning, it's about 7:30 or something. Anyway, so up here, if you've seen any of the previous videos, there used to be carports here. Now I'm removed the carports because I'm actually building a metal garage, and then I'll actually replace the carport that was here. But in the meantime, these trellises that have all these beautiful climbing flowers on them, they lost the carport that they were attached to. So came up with this system, put in some of these poles, I don't know, tree poles or whatever, and then use some zip ties to connect all of the things. So in the end, we have this beautiful purple lilac vine. We've got 4 pink jasmine plants. We've got 2 of these yellow jessamine, and then in the middle we've got this big royal trumpet vine, or purple trumpet vine, that's growing out here. So eventually this will all be too much, I'm sure. I had an idea about moving 2 of the jasmines out and maybe repositioning, but who knows? We might just leave everything and just let it get overgrown. I did order some cap pieces for the trellises, so it'll look a little bit better, I think, once I put those on, but it doesn't look that bad, and pretty soon it's going to be all overgrown anyways. The other thing we was working on up here, so I had a bunch of gazanias that were in these hay racks last year. And then I planted those back in the hibiscus garden. I'm just noticing I have like a giant ground squirrel hole or something right here. What the heck? Anyways, I've got gophers, and ground squirrels is maybe too much, but sorry about that. So I had gazanias and marigolds in these planters last year, and then this year I planted in purple and white calibrachoas. Unfortunately, this zone, it went for a couple of weeks without getting water. One of the wires got disconnected, and I didn't realize that. Anyways, the flowers suffered quite a bit. They're coming back now. I need to come in here and like trim off some of the dead stuff. The other thing that was interesting is some of the marigolds just reseeded in there and have been popping up. There's some gazanias doing that as well. And then I also had some gazanias and marigolds that just seeded themselves out here on the avocado orchard. But what I did was, for the gazanias that I had in the back that were in the hibiscus garden, I came and I planted those out front. I also had some gladiolus bulbs that I've had for a few years that I finally, I put some bulbs in there. And then this property has, at some point, an owner just seeded a bunch of gladiolus bulbs all over the property. So random gladiolus flowers, keep popping up places. So I planted the bulbs I had, and I've been transplanting some of those gladiolus bulbs. The idea being, since the drip hits the hay rack baskets, the excess water drips down below, so you might as well plant some flowers down below. So although the hay racks don't look great right now, they are coming back. And when I get in here to clean these up, maybe I can get to that today. I've been doing a lot of that, trimming back some overgrown flowers or flowers that had problems. So anyways, so up top we have blue moon punch, white calibrachoas, and grape punch calibrachoas, and then down below some gazanias and some gladiolus bulbs. So that's up here on the hay racks. The avocados are doing really good. They really turns out I really should have painted the trunks and the branches that are exposed to the sun a lot earlier. They seem to have responded well. One thing, this is all a learning process for me. So one thing I discovered is that you got to keep these trees sprayed. I have these leaf curl, or they're not leaf, there's some like bug that nests at the end and it causes the leaf to curl. So I'm spraying these, but I need to spray the avocado trees a lot more often. And because what I discovered was a lot of my trees, over half of them, have gotten infected with the Persea mite. Oh look, I've got a Pinkerton avocado. Look at that little guy right there. Awesome. The Persea mite, that's what causes all the spots on the leaves. Anyways, it doesn't typically kill the tree. I'm just removing some bugs off the end of the leaves. It's like a little worm or something that curls up in the end of the leaf and causes the leaf to curl. Anyways, that Persea mite, here's an example right here where you notice how the leaf is very spotted. Anyways, the leaf will, the best, you can't stop it, I guess. All you can do is try to control it, and try to minimize how much the new leaves get infected. So just trying to get these sprayed on a more regular basis is about all I can do from what I've read. If you know something more about avocados, and if there's any way to actually eliminate, here's a leaf that's starting to get infected, the Persea mite, please let me know. Leave a note down in the comments. But like I said, it just infects the leaves, and then the tree will drop them, when the leaf gets enough damage, but it pushes out, lots of new leaves. So like I said, just trying to spray to keep those ones more protected. But like I said, for the most part, the trees are growing real well. They're pushing out lots of new leaves. Some of them are flowering right now, which seems weird, but I've got like 45 different varieties now, so maybe that's not that weird. Anyways, but all the avocado trees appear to be doing good. What I didn't see was a lot of fruit set, so that's a little bit concerning. The other thing I was just noticing is I have those those paper whites bulbs that I relocated out here, and those are supposed to come up at Christmas, and it's just the beginning of September, and they are growing well, but go microclimate. Everything does what it wants here. I have camellias that are blooming in August and September that are supposed to bloom in January. So anyways, these ones are looking a little bit better. So you can see here's what the baskets were supposed to look like this year, with the two different purple calibrachoas and the white ones in the middle. But they'll all get looking good again now that they're getting their regular water. And I've been trying to do better about hitting stuff with some like annuals like those with some liquid fertilizer. The containers are still blooming, and need to get them some more liquid fertilizer, but really happy with that. All right, so up front, I ripped out all of the Supertunia bubblegums, saffron finch, and the Bordeaux's. Those the gophers got in there, and they kind of I let those get overgrown, and so they were looking terrible. Anyway, so I pulled all those out a few weeks ago, and then I transplanted all of the lavender lantana that was in amongst and overgrowing the English rose garden. So that's out here. Now they didn't like being transplanted, but they're tough, and so they'll come back. One thing is I will have to keep these lantana can grow real big. So, you know, that'll just be a prune job every year to keep these prune back. And, you know, if they come forward a little bit and even spill over the front of the brick just a little bit, I'm fine with that. The Goodwin Creek lavender has been amazing. It did everything I want a lavender hedge to do. It's constantly full of bees. And so very, very happy with that. And then again, here in a couple of months, I'll cut it all the way back down to the ground and then just let it regrow, because I don't want it to get any bigger than this. And just there's something about a lavender hedge when it's planted all in a straight line. The white geraniums are doing really good. They would be more solid white if I was better at deadheading, but they're growing a lot bigger than I thought they were. But you know, at my last place, I didn't get nearly as much sun, so you know, plants grow bigger here. The boba hydrangeas, they're all still alive, and most of them are putting out these beautiful little white flowers. Again, these were tiny little plants in those little 2-cup or pint-size containers, and this is their, you know, first year in the ground, so hopefully they'll get a lot bigger. The limelight primes, they're all still alive, and most of them are flowering. This poor guy, he kept getting, I keep stepping on him and overrunning him with the hose. So finally put some protection poles around him, so maybe I'll stop stepping on him. But he'll either play catch up, or I have some larger limelight primes I can transplant in. We've got some beautiful crepe myrtles blooming. The plumbago is just amazing. It's this baby blue everywhere, and it's growing like crazy. So definitely gonna like prune it back to keep it more in a bush shape. The azaleas, which, you know, again, struggle here a little bit because of the high alkaline soil, and they like acidic soil. But I've been adding some of the azalea tone and some acidifier, and so most of them are actually blooming, which is nice. I've got this this other dark crepe myrtle is about to start blooming as well. I planted this crepe myrtle tree and that autumn gold ginkgo biloba up here. I've also got a couple of Japanese maples that are up in here. Now, Japanese maples are struggling a bit for me. They can handle my full sun here because we don't get that hot, but I also have sort of a constant breeze because, you know, coming off the ocean. So I probably maybe needed to keep them in containers until they got bigger and a little bit stronger root system. But like this fire glow, you know, fingers crossed he'll be okay and push out some more new leaves. So big learning experience on all those Japanese maples. But let me just step back and so you can kind of see the entryway. These white sun patiens have been amazing, just absolutely beautiful. And the firelight tidbits are coming in as well. The containers, I just did a cut back on them, and I'm about to replant some stuff in a couple of those. And again, they got, this zone over here had a water issue as well. So, but they're recovering, and I'm giving them some liquid fertilizer, so they're happy. I get firelight tidbits are looking great. They're all still alive. A couple of them, this one's not doing nearly as well. I'm not sure exactly why. He's close to water. I got to check. He could have actually had his roots eaten by a gopher, because that is a constant problem I have with everything. Anyways, like I said, the walkway is looking great. The hydrangea beds are doing well. They look really beautiful, especially these front ones. And this, my two super pink proven winners hanging baskets are still going strong. Wee White is blooming. This is a brand new one, and he was a replacement, so he's blooming. The little limes, this was the more established one, and here's the new one. They're pushing out a whole bunch. Credibal's put on an incredible show, especially since they're only a few months old. I just planted them about 4 months ago, I think. And So they put out giant, beautiful white blooms. My Gatsby moons are looking amazing. I mean, those are just beautiful plants, regardless of the giant blooms they're going to put. And you can see they're starting to get pushed out. The one of my first hydrangeas I got here 4 years ago from my other place. I think I might relocate it, maybe someplace that gets a little less sun. But and I ordered something to go right there, so we'll see about that. We've got some other ones are just coming in. Let's see, this guy is Let's Dance Ariba is now just starting to flower. Fairy Trail is getting a little bit scorched. Might be too much sun, but I don't know. My first Gatsby moon is doing great. Put out so many of these. I had to cut some of them off because it made like 15 of these, and it's a tiny little plant. But I said, hey, why don't you like build a root system or something before you do that? Anyways, very, very happy. Plant started off in one of those little pint-sized cups or Eco Grandes, whatever they call them, and is about to put on a whole bunches. And then we've got Gatsby Pink is doing really well, putting out a second bloom. And then this new one, Gatsby Glow Ball, over here is also doing great. Here in the southern patio, did a lot of work actually a couple of days ago, and but I had the Tiara Pinks had completely taken over the whole thing. So I cut them way back. Again, I left that too long. I should have been cutting them back more often. But they're still alive, and they'll grow back. All the other stuff that got taken over by the Tiara Pinks is very happy now that they can get some sun. This is a Victoria bougainvillea, so it is pushing out lots of new growth. And what I love about this is it's got variegated leaves, and the edges of the leaves are pink, and then it puts out this beautiful deep burgundy bloom. I threw in some of this deep purple magenta celosia. There are still some gardenias in here that are still alive. I've been trying to give them fertilizer, but I'm not planting any more gardenias because they just don't grow here in the alkaline soil. I planted some more coneflowers. Unfortunately, the gophers got to my angel wing senosio that I've had for years, and well, they just ate it, all the roots. So that is a replacement. So I was happy they got some of those in. The store threw in some Gerbera daisies up here for some extra color until the petunias come back, the Tiara Pinks. And then I was amazed, there was actually a couple of pink cashmeres at the store. And so threw those in. Now, again, eventually everything will get too big again, but I just need to be better about, trimming it back and keeping it more compact. The camellia right here, the October Magic, is doing well. Over here on this side, that is just one jazzberry, and I actually half the size. It was twice that big going into the back and all the way out front. So I cut it way back, and I'm trying to get it some fertilizer. I want to keep it about that size and just green. And then there's that Hydrangea Standard growing up out of it, which is cool. I had some extra containers that were just waiting to be planted for too long, so I threw in some more saffron finch and a couple more jazzberries. And then these saffron finch was actually plants that were still alive out front, so I transplanted them here. So we'll have a nice drift of jazzberry and then saffron finch along the front. That should look really beautiful. In the shady part of the southern patio, this was that stunning Smurfy blue hydrangea I got from Home Depot. It is very happy back here in this spot. It gets just enough sun, but enough shade. And again, hoping with enough acidifier, I can actually get it to rebloom blue like it was. These surefire begonias are surefire hits always. They're all doing well. My red camellias, you can see, are putting on lots of new growth. Love their homes in the containers. And why is that? Did something has caused that camellia to be tipped forward? That makes me think a gopher pushed up the paver underneath it. Okay, something else to fix. Anyways, like I said, I've got 4 different colors of the begonias, like the red, pink and white, and I've had those for years. Brought them from the other property. Hostas are just getting completely eaten by slugs and snails. I cannot put out enough sluggo, but I will put out some more. Excuse me. Over here, sorry about that. That was fast. Over here, I finally got the large purple and orange bougainvillea in the ground, and the smaller ones pulled out that I'm going to put in the back. That purple clematis has just been doing amazing all summer. Now I need to get in there and cut the cords and sort of attach those bougainvilleas to the trellises, and then I want to see if I can get another of those exact trellis, and then I can attach it, and so it'll go even much taller. But so that's a future project, so we'll be on the lookout for that. This lion's tail, I am constantly pruning back on this because it wants to take over the world. I'm not getting a lot of blooms on it, or I wasn't, but looks like I'm finally getting some blooms along these stalks. So hopefully it gives me a beautiful show here. It's a very stately plant, but you just have to keep trimming it back along the edges. Let's see. Up here, I threw in some Rudbeckia and some Echinacea, which I think is an Echinacea Rudbeckia hybrid. These poor things are getting eaten by something. I'm thinking maybe earwigs or maybe snails, or slugs. I think probably earwigs. So we'll try with that. This angel wing is just like snail and slug favorite food. They just go and they just trim the fuzz off the top, which just kind of makes it look ugly. But what are you gonna do? I planted a tall purple pincushion in there. Also cleaned the stuff up so you can see the bachelor buttons. These daisy bushes, if you see any previous videos, they were like 10 times this size, but trim those back, and a rejuvenation type prune, and they should go. I'm gonna trim off these lilies here pretty soon, but I'm trying to think of what I want to sort of plant there in the middle, until the lilies come back next year. The Tacoma bush tree is absolutely loving life, and it's a constant pruning back to keep it in in control. But it's doing a wonderful job of hiding the electrical panel, and then but I keep the trellis there so me or an electrician can get in there. Over here, this is just my absolute, I love all the parts, but this is my absolute favorite part of the garden and the property, is up here underneath the mimosa tree. All this stuff is just doing really well. We've got chocolate drop and my guacamole hosta. The monarchs have been amazing. I've seen probably over 100 different monarch caterpillars. All of the milkweed in the back is completely eaten. I was transferring some caterpillars here out front. Let's see, do I have somebody munching away yet this morning? Well, because there were some real big fat ones yesterday. Let's look over here on this one, because now I brought it up. I really want to show you a monarch caterpillar. Oh yeah, we've got some over on this guy. You can see how all the leaves are disappearing, and that would be the work of these guys. This guy right here is a monarch caterpillar. I think he got his own poop stuck on him. That's kind of funny. Anyways, so they eat all the leaves off the milkweed. That's the one plant I guess the monarch butterflies will lay their eggs on, and then they make a cocoon and fly away. But especially around midday when you're out here sitting in the, see, literally hundreds of monarchs will come in, and that has been something really amazing to watch um, for the last few weeks or so. You can see lots of leaves getting eaten. Any caterpillars on this guy? Nope. Anyways, well, there, see the seed pods, they, when they burst open, there's makes lots of those. So there's milkweed growing up kind of all over the place, that just on its own, which is great. So it can support a larger butterfly population. In here, this is probably my favorite place of anywhere. Just the, I'll back up here a little bit and so you can see the colors along this border, along the driveway, are just amazing. You know, this is my woodland garden. I like to think of it's like a magic forest. So we've got, you know, albrido. Here we've got a Mikawa Yatsubusa that is pushing out a bunch of new leaves. So he's doing okay. I put in some hummingbird mint or agastaki right there. There's lavenders. This is one of the few things that were here when I got here. These pittosporum. I cut them way back, but this guy and this guy were here, but everything else I planted. Recently planted a sweet shrub, an Aphrodite sweet shrub, which is right there, and looks like the snails are munching away on it. I've got some French lavender right here, a little drift of it, and let's see. Oh, we got a white pillar hibiscus. Oh, it's not blooming right now. This is really interesting, this Hidcote blue lavender. Look how geometric those the leaves are. So we've got a couple of those in here, 3 of them. And it's such a pretty plant. The blue evolvulus that I planted is doing really, really well along here. Oh, you know, but they're the flowers aren't open yet. I guess they open with the sun. I've got some Russian sage back here. The aleogine, the sort of faux hibiscus from Australia, is doing really well. Look how beautiful that bloom is. And so like I said, this whole section is just amazing. I mentioned the plumbago. I've got a few of these and they're all doing great. I'm gonna prune them up a little more like upright after something, but just, you know, can't get enough of that blue. The magic circle fountain is just stunning, and hummingbirds all day will come in there and bathe, and other birds as well. The floss flower all around is just, or it's azuratum is the scientific name, is absolutely beautiful. My tater tots and sting arborvitae on the inside are looking great, and those annuals, this is their 3rd year. They're still going. I did a big rejuvenation prune on those about a month ago or so, and so it's just a matter of getting them enough fertilizer so they can do their thing. Miss Molly, the butterfly bush up here, is putting out absolutely beautiful magenta blooms. One of my lemony lace elderberries or sambucas is doing good. The other one I think died. I also planted, so I've got some, this is a Beyond Midnight Caryopteris from Proven Winners. This is really funny. If you notice, this dwarf blue spruce, the growth was all coming out this way, and I realized, wait, that's the side that the night solar light is on. And so I moved it over here to check, and sure enough, look, now all the new growth is coming out over there. So the solar light at night is stimulating growth. So I probably guess I need to get another light behind it so this poor tree will grow evenly. That is really hilarious, that, you know, the fact that it gets light all evening from the little solar light is causing it to grow one direction. It's just amazing. You know, this forest pansy redbud, the, I mean, yeah, I'm not really sure. Doesn't look all that happy, but not sure why. It's not pushing out any new leaves, and maybe it's, well, it's, I guess we are in the fall here. So um, anyways, hopefully it comes back real strong next year. Is definitely one of my favorite trees. Got a Chatalpa desert orchid up here. Um, it's really interesting. Like, I don't really smell anything. It's supposed to be like the best smelling flower ever, but I ask people, and some people can smell it and say, "Oh, that smells wonderful." So it's a pretty tree and makes beautiful flowers. So not sure what's going on there. Have any of you had the experience with that? This spot right here, I absolutely love, with the yellow Tacoma and the plumbago and the alternanthera, that deep wine color, and then we've got a hydrangea here and some Japanese bloodgrass, and the little Mikawa Yatsubusa that looks like a little Muppet running with his arms in the air or something. This is another Caryopteris that I found at Home Depot. Absolutely beautiful as well. It's a lighter blue than the Beyond Midnight from Proven Winners. So I've got 3 of these planted around, and the bees absolutely love those. I've got 3 rhododendrons and planted some more camellias up in here in this sort of shady area. Although the this Newport cherry plum is already losing its leaves, so this is about to become a much sunnier location. I thought, yeah, we'll see how everything does. That red azalea is doing wonderful. So the fertilizer and acidifier was working for it. Let's see. Oh, this video is going really long. So let me sort of finish up this area over here. Again, macrophyllus, all these different macrophylla hydrangeas were absolutely beautiful. They were pink blooms despite me adding acidifier, so I will try again. Some of these are reblooming ones, so they're pushing out new growth even this late in the season, like this one right here, which is just absolutely stunning. And these go all the way around. Over here, I fight powdery mildew here because of the marine layer that comes in, and so stuff stays damp. So it's, but trying to keep stuff sprayed. Anyways, we'll see if I can get these to come back blue next year with enough acidifier. Cutting down those 2 giant pine trees that were diseased out front to put in the tropical orchard. Absolutely love that, but it did mean that things over here are getting a lot more sun than they were. So I've already moved a couple of things. These hostas appear to be hanging in there, so we'll see. Again, one of my Japanese maples, Spring Delight, that, well, hopefully it's still alive and it'll come back. So again, it's been sort of a constant struggle with the Japanese maples. The camellias and the limelight pines over here are doing well. Again, can't talk enough about how amazing sun patiens do here. This is a Brunera I've planted, a Jack Frost. I don't think it's Proven Winners. I think it's a different company, but absolutely beautiful. I have that Jack of Diamonds in the tropical garden in the back. And I finally got a Queen of Hearts to plant back there as well. Let's see, up here in the Cedar Grove area, I did plant some other Russian sage from a different company up here, which is really pretty, and a pollinator favorite, like I mentioned. And then up here in the tropical garden, I've got the 4 different kinds of tangerines, and I just added some more fertilizer, so hopefully this will get this Superbina blooming again. It was really pretty. It's a peaches and cream, and then I have some white calibrachoas in there. So yeah, these are all doing well. All of the mangoes are blooming, so far so good on the mango experiment. And this is pina colada, which is, I'm thinking might be my favorite because I love me a pina colada and a mango, so mix them together. lots and lots of tangerines on this, or mandarins. I guess that's all the same thing on this guy. Yeah, so anyways, the I also got a couple of cherimoyas in. So I had 2 avocado trees up here. I moved those back there because Home Depot got a couple of cherimoyas in. So I went ahead and planted those, and I still have my Geffner Adamoya, which is a cherimoya and sugar apple hybrid. Over here along the fence, the big thing I got done was um, uh, I added hay racks, and so I have some petunias. They're similar to Saffron Finch. They're a Wave brand. Let's see, they're really pretty. There's a Easy Wave Yellow. Okay, sure. So they're very, they're like Saffron Finch where they fade to white around the inside. And then I had some bubble gums left over. So yeah, I know when all those get going, it'll be huge, but that's what I'm going for. And then the Bordeaux's that used to be in the rose garden in the back that have been hanging out in containers for a couple of months, I threw those down here. So we'll have the yellow, pink, and purple, which used to be along the front of the property where the lavender lantana is now. We'll have that color over here. I also put in ice plant and a whole row of the stormproof Incrediballs hydrangeas here up front. And the next project, which I think will be in the next video, to finish out here, I'm going to put, I put up these trellises and I transplanted, I had some Pandora vine, or I think some people call it bower vine. And it makes these beautiful white flowers. These ones have like a pink throat. And then I found a variety that is pure white without the pink throat. Well, I've had these Thunbergia or black-eyed Susans, and I found 4 different colors. I got yellow, orange, pink, and white. And I was gonna put these on the back fence, but then changed my mind. And so the next thing I'm gonna do is put those 4 trellises up and then plant the Thunbergia. And so all the fence posts will have beautiful climbing flowers and stunning petunias in the middle. So this will actually be quite impressive here, I think, in a couple of months. And I know for most people, a couple of months, their growing season will be over. But again, magic microclimate here, flowers will still be growing quite strong into October and November. So anyways, well, hopefully you enjoyed this tour of the front of the property, and with the tropical orchard we're in now, the woodland garden, the southern patio, the avocado grove, and the climbing wall, and the hydrangea beds. And didn't really talk about the succulent garden. They're still doing their thing. I've got one more urn that I need to get planted up there, but yeah, anyways, hopefully, like I said, you enjoyed the video. And be sure to hit that like button if you haven't yet. Leave a comment down below. I need to come up with some flowers to plant up here in these containers, so leave a suggestion on what I should plant. And yeah, I forgot to plant that poor lantana right here, so hopefully he's still alive. If not, I need to get another lavender one. But anyways, please share with your friends and family, and if they are into gardening, and help me grow the community. I do respond to all comments, so please please leave me a note. And hello. Super friendly neighbors here, and everybody always stops to tell me how much they love what I'm doing, which is really cool, I will admit. And anyways, like I was saying, Like, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't, all that good stuff. And we'll finish here with the scene of this incredible magic circle fountain. So hopefully your gardening has been growing great over the summer and you're getting ready for fall. And until the next video, happy gardening.